Yeah, I hate her. Yeah, that's she's delivering a horror spirit amongst young girls.
Any broad that's running around bragging about getting raw dog, that little old ain't nothing but a cum bucket. I said, no, she a disgusting little old mother.
Anytime y'all see me with a nigga, y'all think I'm fucking him. Like, can I just chill? Can I hang out? God, I'm a grown-ass gangster superhero. Leave me alone.
That's Charleston White making waves again, and this time he didn't just stir the pot. He dropped what looks like Sexyy Red's private medical receipts, and even went as far as naming rappers he claims were exposed. These aren't just any names either. They're the type that run the game, the kind that make people stop mid-scroll like, wait, what did he just say? And here's where it gets even nastier. Charleston didn't just accuse her, he painted her as contaminated and tied it directly to the wild lifestyle she raps about.
And when you gonna keep it gangster? When you gonna keep it bitch, that's what you did. You lied to me for 6.
Once those so-called receipts hit the timeline, the internet exploded, with fans playing detective and linking every rapper she's ever been spotted with. Club appearances, IG flicks, even messy baby daddy drama got dragged into the mix. The fallout from this so-called leak is flat out insane, and the list of names Charleston White threw out is the kind of mess that leaves people gasping. Fans are out here whispering, did he really just say that? Some even suggesting that Drake wasn't the only superstar she was tangled up with. The way this story snowballed overnight, chaos doesn't even begin to cover it. Hands on your knees, hands on your knees. That's the kind of wild energy Charleston White came in with. And this time he went way past his usual antics, straight into savage mode.
And what's crazy is I seen a video, I seen a video where she said her own was thinking.
He claimed that Sexyy Red's lifestyle wasn't just reckless, it was downright dangerous. To push his point even further, he even posted a zoomed-in picture of her with what looked like a mark around her mouth, captioning it, "I ain't lied yet." The man literally doubled down on trying to embarrass her in front of millions. But it didn't stop there. Charleston took it to another level with graphic accusations, basically saying Sexyy Red might have an STD and connecting it to the raw, unfiltered sexual themes she raps about, the same ones that made her famous in the first place. He even went as far as making nasty claims about her private parts, calling it infected and accusing her of being careless with who she's been with.
But I said to myself, she looked like it get hot. It looked like it get funky in whatever room she f***ing in. It get hot.
Then came his most jaw-dropping line. Charleston said dudes don't even wash up and still go raw with her, so of course things are gonna get funky. That's the exact kind of graphic, no-filter talk that had social media spiraling. Fans weren't just shocked, they were disgusted, replaying the clip just to believe he actually said it out loud. Charleston White wasn't just clowning for laughs. He was making some bold claims about the real dangers tied to Sexyy Red's sexual history. That's why he pulled out what looked like her medical papers, sparking one of the messiest firestorms on social media. Suddenly, everyone online was connecting dots, dragging out old rumors, and throwing out names of rappers she might have been tied to. And here's where it gets even wilder. People started pointing fingers at Gucci Third Leg. His name blew up because years ago, a woman accused him of passing her an infection, and the word was he already knew about it. That accusation alone had social media melting down. But then, Gucci himself bragged about sleeping with over 3,000 women. 3,000. Add to that his collabs with adult content creators, and fans were quick to say the math just wasn't mathing in Sexyy Red's favor. Now, the connection between her and Gucci Third Leg had been whispered about before, but with Charleston's so-called receipts flying around, the speculation went into overdrive. Folks online were convinced that with someone that active, it's not far-fetched to think infections were in the mix, and linking her name to him only poured gasoline on the fire. Sexyy Red herself even jumped on Instagram to clap back at the endless rumors, venting about how she's sick of people obsessing over her so-called brown booty hole.
Because Sexyy Red pushed a lot of sexual violence, and so my kids would have to be grown.
She tried to shut it down, but the comments section wasn't giving her a break. Fans were already convinced they had it all figured out, with one even writing, "I mean, she got it from Gucci Third Leg." And right when the chatter peaked, Charleston doubled down by flashing what he claimed were her medical reports, sending social media into pure chaos. That's when things got messy with the names being tied to her. Next up, Drake. Everyone remembers the night he was spotted cozy with the red-haired rapper, arm around her, sitting close in the club, even planting a little kiss on her cheek. Drake himself posted, "Just met my wife, Sexyy Red," while she reposted with, "I'm your favorite rapper's rapper." Those weren't just friendly vibes. They looked like a pair. And it didn't stop with one sighting. They've been caught together multiple times, always giving off way more than just friends energy. So when Charleston started dropping those wild claims, people instantly tied Drake into the drama, the timing, the receipts, the history. It all made the internet believe there was more to the story than just rumors. And believe it or not, Drake isn't even the biggest name Charleston threw out next. Things went from messy to downright explosive, because now Chief Keef's name got dragged straight into the fire. Sexyy Red herself admitted that what she had with him was way more than just friendship. No official title, but the way she described it said it all. "It's genuine. That's my people. That's my dog," she explained. She even admitted she didn't know what to call it, saying they liked each other, could be on the phone for hours, and it always felt like they'd known each other forever. And then came the bomb. Red joked that Keef could end up being her third baby daddy. That alone had fans side-eyeing. But then she stirred the pot even more by throwing shade at King Von's sister Kayla B, all over her ties to Keef. That made it crystal clear there was something real happening between them. Now, here's where Charleston White's claims started hitting like a hammer. If those alleged medical papers were legit, and if Sexyy was really that close with Keef, then fans couldn't help but wonder if he too might have been exposed. Suddenly, it wasn't just random names, it was a ripple effect, with people connecting dots and asking who else might be involved. And right when folks thought the storm couldn't get any uglier, Charleston threw in another curveball. Sexyy herself posted a photo on Instagram, lying in bed next to a mystery man. She didn't reveal his face, just their feet. But the detail that sent the internet into detective mode, he had on an ankle monitor, meaning he was clearly on house arrest. That single clue had people scrambling to figure out who the hidden guy was. In that post, Sexyy Red doubled down on her wild vibe, captioning it, "I like fucking with drillers. Redhead killer." But here's the kicker. Once Charleston White dropped what he claimed was her STD report, every name, every flirty moment, every close connection she's ever shared in public suddenly looked like a clue. That mystery man with the ankle monitor wasn't just some fling. Fans started speculating he could be another dangerous link in the chain White's been warning about. And just like with Drake and Chief Keef, this unnamed figure adds another layer of chaos to the growing storm. But then came the curveball nobody expected. Another name tied to the mess, Aiden Ross. Yep, the streamer himself went online and claimed, "I want to announce something, but I don't know if I should say it. I did have Sexyy Red. It was good. She was kind of the dominant one." That alone had the internet gagging. But Aiden didn't stop there. He even admitted that after watching her leaked tape, he, in his own words, handled himself to it. And that's what made him slide in her direction. Fans called it flat-out vile, and the clip spread like wildfire. Of course, Sexyy wasn't staying quiet. She clapped back hard, saying, "You paid me to take your virginity, and I did just that." Then she fired off another shot on Twitter, clowning him with, "Psyche, you couldn't test me with a stick." When you put all this back in the frame of Charleston White's alleged receipts, the dots start connecting, and the picture that forms isn't pretty at all. Every name Charleston White threw out turned up the heat. Every hookup, every public link suddenly had people questioning who might have been exposed. With names like Drake, Chief Keef, and now Aiden Ross already floating around, the situation stopped feeling like gossip and started looking like a chain reaction that could stretch way further than anybody expected. And just when folks thought it couldn't get wilder, boom! Ray J hopped on Twitch and casually claimed that he and Sexyy Red hooked up on a flight. His exact words sent shockwaves across the internet. But Sexyy wasn't letting that slide. She clapped back, saying, "Even to be saying we slept on the plane together, I said hi and kept it pushing. Is you sick?" She shut it down fast, but that didn't erase the fact that his name allegedly appeared on Charleston's list in the first place. And that single detail kept fans digging, because denial doesn't always kill suspicion. But then the whispers turned toward Huncho. It all started when he played her love interest in a music video, and the chemistry was so convincing that fans swore it was more than acting. Sexyy only fueled the rumors when she posted IG captions that matched his lyrics word for word. Fans were quick to assume she was dropping hints. Here's where it gets wild. Once you view this through the lens of Charleston White's alleged medical receipts, people started connecting dots all over again. If Huncho really did get close with her, even just casually, it places him inside the messy circle White's been hinting at. And that's why fans say this drama isn't just about music anymore. It's about who's caught in the crossfire. By this point, the stories of STDs and past flings weren't being brushed off as harmless gossip anymore. They started looking like a full-blown pattern, and the internet was eating it up. So when Charleston White dropped that so-called medical report, the focus instantly shifted. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Drake, Keef, or Aiden Ross. People were questioning if Huncho was caught up in the mess too, with fans betting his name was the next bomb waiting to drop. But here's where it spun even crazier, because it wasn't only Charleston throwing shade. Sexyy Red's own baby daddy jumped in, accusing her of burning rappers and even flashing what looked like paperwork of his own to back it up. Social media lit up with questions. Where is all this paperwork even coming from, and who's telling the truth? Then came the twist. He backtracked, saying he never actually caught anything himself. But instead of killing the story, that made Charleston's so-called receipts feel even more legit. It left the spotlight firmly locked on Sexyy, framing her not as another rapper's ex, but as the center of something way bigger. On a live call, he pressed the issue hard, saying, "When you gonna keep it gangsta?" And Red didn't fire back with an immediate response. He then clarified that in his case, the virus was dormant, but herpes doesn't just disappear. To prove it wasn't cap, he even pulled out paperwork showing no active detection when it flared up. Then he doubled down again, pointing at the culture and claiming, "Y'all favorite rapper. She burning everybody, getting burnt." That was the wild accusation thrown around, and the way it was said had people gasping. You gotta be strong for that, because it's not for the weak. And I'm the weak. Remember, you started this. But then came the twist. Her baby daddy walked it back, claiming he never actually caught anything and even pulled out proof to clear his name. Still, the fact that he stepped into the mess at all made folks rethink every moment Sexyy Red was seen linked to rappers, even if it was just clubbing or hanging out. Because once STDs are thrown into the mix, Charleston White's so-called list starts looking a lot less like random trolling and way more like a believable pattern. The ripple effect suddenly feels real. One hookup here, another there, and fans can't help but wonder who else might be caught in the storm. But here's the part that shook everybody. Sexyy Red has openly admitted to dealing with STIs before, and she even turned it into part of her public image. She once posted a viral pic of a fan outside the ER holding up dollar bills spelling "I want the STD" and captioned it, "It's gone now. Emafi done took my meds." That's pure Sexyy, turning controversy into a punchline. Her brand even leaned into it with lip gloss shades named things like gonorrhea and yellow discharge. Fans thought it was just shock value marketing until Charleston dropped that medical report. Then suddenly, nobody was laughing. It felt like the jokes were admissions all along. And if that wasn't messy enough, Sexyy herself revealed she'd had chlamydia not once, but twice. She explained how she and her man broke up, both stepped out, got back together, and that's when they realized something smelled way off. We both was like, what the F is that smell? That's how Sexyy Red described the moment she and her man realized something was off. They both went to the doctor, but never figured out who brought it into the relationship. Now line that up with Charleston White's alleged report, the rappers she's been linked to, and even her baby daddy's accusations. You see exactly why people online started connecting the dots. With that kind of messy history, White's list suddenly doesn't feel like wild trolling. It feels a whole lot more believable. And it wasn't just Charleston throwing dirt. Lord Jamar jumped in too, and he didn't sugarcoat a thing. He flat out said Sexyy looked like the kind of girl where you'd walk into the room and instantly think, "This smells like somebody was messing around in here." That alone had people side-eyeing, but he pushed it even further. Jamar added that he'd seen a video where Sexyy admitted her own private parts had a smell, and he doubled down saying, "She looked like it get hot, like it get funky in whatever room she in." That kind of public clowning hit hard because it lined up with Charleston's narrative, making his so-called leaks sound way less like random shade and way more like confirmation. And that's the dangerous part. Between Sexyy Red's own STI admissions, her hookups with high-profile rappers, and commentary like Jamar's, the drama isn't being brushed off as gossip anymore. Fans are treating it like a full-on expose, with receipts, rumors, and real names tying everything together. By now, it's starting to look less like coincidence and more like a pattern, leaving fans wondering if some of the names on Charleston White's list are actually tangled in that same chain of exposure. But here's the kicker. Some folks online are flat out accusing Sexyy Red of deliberately spreading infections. One viral comment even read, "I mean, STDs are a part of her brand. She made that choice." On the flip side, though, others aren't pointing the finger at her directly. They see her as another product of this toxic clout-chasing culture, where women get hyped up for views and trends, then tossed aside when the story gets too messy. Either way, the situation's getting sticky, it's getting stinky, and Charleston White's spin on it is hitting heavy. But here's where it gets deeper. This isn't just him talking slick. It's about more than one rapper or one scandal. What we're watching is how celebrity antics, social media thirst, and a lack of sexual accountability all collided in 2025. And Charleston didn't stop there. He claimed this ain't even new. According to him, black women have been dragged for years under harsh beauty standards and rap lyrics soaked in misogyny. But now, he swears what's happening with Sexyy Red is way more calculated, like an industry setup hiding behind entertainment. Charleston White went as far as saying the system itself is purposely pushing artists like Sexyy Red to the front, just to keep tearing down the image of black women. In his own words, he accused Red of pushing off a lot of sexual violence, framing her as a symbol of a much bigger problem. That's why, when he leaked what he claimed were her medical records and started dropping major names, he positioned it as proof, not just gossip. And once private paperwork and celebrity hookups get dragged into the spotlight, it stops being messy tea and starts looking like a full-blown statement. Charleston knows exactly how to spark chaos and clear out a room, and this latest move guarantees the conversation around Sexyy Red isn't cooling off anytime soon. But here's the kicker. Next time, I'm gonna break down how the rappers Charleston put on blast actually responded. And trust me, some of those clapbacks are just as wild as the accusations themselves. So make sure you hit that like button, smash subscribe, share this video with your people, and stay tuned. Because the next part of this saga, you do not want to miss it. See you on the next one.